We're a naturalistic worldview club, and what that means is we don't accept anything supernatural, whether it be magic, ghosts, gods, things like that. So we're happy to present Ted Cox. I'd also like to thank the Pride Center for putting out their email for this as well and inviting all of you to come. Ted Cox graduated from UCLA. He's a writer. He writes quite a bit for the Sacramento Bee, right?
Sacramento
News and Review, sorry.
Cool.
Okay. Good hint. Anyway, he's gone undercover at a gay to straight therapy camp and is going to share those memories with us. So at this point, I'd like to welcome Ted up and let him do his thing.
Thank you, everyone, for coming here on a Friday night and sharing your time with me. I don't know if you have heard, but Gary Coleman passed away today. It's kind of sad that his life was cut short. No. All right. He's not even 4 feet under. People are making jokes about him. I will have a question and answer session at the end of all of this, but to get started, I know there's one question that everyone has. My last name really is Cox. It's my legal last name. I say I was born that way. And some people find it interesting that a straight guy with the last name of Cox would pretend to be gay to go into these ex-gay programs, which leads to some very interesting possible titles for this presentation, including Undercover Cox, Cox Fakes Gay, Cox Goes Deep, and my favorite one that I've heard so far is Cox Talks Cox. But as I get into this tonight, the difficult thing about talking about the ex-gay programs is that any one of these slides could easily be its own 1-hour presentation. So there are things I'm skipping, there are things that I'm just glossing over. So I'm sure you guys will have questions about this at the end. And also, this is a very sensitive topic for some people. I do deal with some adult themes. If you find any of these things offensive, I'm going to give you the chance now to leave. So take a look. If anything bothers you, if I piss you off, now is the time to go. That last one, Mormons, is, I used to be Mormon. I grew up in the Mormon church. I was a missionary in South America for 2 years in the Republic of Peru. That little banana right there is called a manzanito, and it has that name because it tastes like a little apple. It's actually quite tasty. And you can get them at some Soulforce around here, which is pretty cool. After I came home from Peru, I started college and took a class in biology and political science, and that was enough to basically destroy my faith to the fact where I am a born-again atheist now. If I was still Mormon, I would never have tried beer or coffee, and that makes me sad to think about all these poor Mormons who are so deprived. I write about a lot of interesting topics that have to do with identity and who we are and why we are who we are, and a lot of objects or subjects about religion. In the top left corner, I went undercover in a furry convention in San Jose, California. Those are the people who dress up in fursuits and do all sorts of weird artwork and pornography, and you just wouldn't believe the type of imagination that some people have when it comes to porn. At the bottom right here, a story called Baby Makers. This is about a church in Roseville, which is near my hometown of Sacramento. They're part of the Quiverful movement, which teaches that women should not use birth control, that you should be subservient to your husbands, you should have as many children as possible, women aren't allowed to speak in church, and ultimately they should not vote either. So there are some very interesting things going on with religion in America, and sometimes it's hard to believe that this is 2010. Anyway, some of the lingo before I get started tonight. When I talk about in the name of, in these programs, their definition of gay is that it's a lifestyle choice. I mean, I don't agree with this definition. They believe that gay is something that you identify as and you choose to live that way. Consequently, someone who is ex-gay is someone who has left that gay lifestyle. They have chosen to give up having relations with people of the same sex, and they're trying to live a chaste Christian life. It doesn't mean necessarily that their orientation has switched or changed or that they're now heterosexual. This is their own terminology. So that's what the term ex-gay means. More often now you will see them using the term SSA, same-sex attracted, or someone who feels same-sex attractions. This is the more common terminology for a Christian who is trying to overcome their attractions to people of the same sex. So when I say ex-gay or SSA, they're kind of interchangeable in the context of tonight. So that's some of the lingo that these programs use, and it will be helpful in you guys understanding what's going on. You may have heard about ex-gay programs in popular culture. There's the movie But I'm a Cheerleader, which came out a few years ago, which is about a girl who her parents send her off to a camp because they want her to become straight. This is Pastor Ted Haggard from Colorado. This is from the film.
We decided the Bible is the Word of God. We don't have to have a general assembly about what we believe. It's written in the Bible. All right? So we don't have to debate about what we should think about homosexual activity. It's written in the Bible.
This is a very scary documentary, by the way.
I think I know what you did last night. If you send me $1,000, I won't tell your wife.
Which is kind of funny because what Mr. Haggard wasn't telling his own wife was that he was spending nights with a gay prostitute and was smoking meth in a hotel room near his own church that he founded. After he was, well, outed, he then went into a program, an intensive program for 3 weeks where another pastor at his church said that he had been completely cured, that he was now completely heterosexual after just 3 weeks of intensive therapy. South Park, there's the episode called Cartman Sucks, where poor Butters, who enlisted being bi-curious, is sent off to Camp New Grace, where he learns to pray away the gay. There was also an episode of House a couple of weeks ago, dealing with ex-gay therapists. I haven't had a chance to see it yet. It was very good. I think it's on Hulu now. I'm not sure.